Now, if you're really trying to talk about solving climate change, then you got to think globally. We've been mostly talking about America, the liberal democracies of the West. We have to adjust the lens to the big picture global view as well. Now, we have a lot of these technologies are inexorable and that they could scale globally. It turns out there's other inexorables at the global level too. There's megatrends that are beyond tech that are quite fortuitous. They're largely positive developments that could help us solve a lot of these challenges too, particularly climate change. One of them is burgeoning capital. We have the technologies, but do we have the capital to transition our entire energy system, to transition the economy to sustainable everything? Well, there's about $100 trillion in capital markets sloshing around right now. It's all looking for productive investments, and it's actually not getting the kind of returns it wants. I think the supertanker of global finance is going to move this decade, and there's signs that it's happening much faster than people think. Another inexorable is Chinese superpowers. China has now, at the end of their 30-year run, become truly a global superpower, and we need them. China can actually move and act in ways that the liberal democracies, as of now, can't. We're still debating in America whether climate change is real, and China is just moving huge amounts of assets. Also, the Chinese model is much more relevant to the developing world. They pulled 800 million peasants out of poverty into cities in the last 30 years, and that's something that has to happen around the world. Which brings up total urbanization, another inexorable. In this last decade, the world tipped past 50% of the world now in cities. It's about 55% now, but it's heading to 80% by 2050. This is essentially a good tendency for the planet. It lowers the human footprint. It brings many other positive developments like empowering women, which lowers the number of children and which essentially reduces population pressures. Another global inexorable is middle-class majorities. Just in the last few years, the world crossed another milestone in which we have now 50% of the people on the planet are middle class. 3.6 billion people. Now, this is considered middle class in a global context. These are people who can afford maybe something like a refrigerator or a motorbike or have some mild security, unlike people who are really destitute or poor. Now, this is not what we think of in the West as the middle class. Those would be considered more almost rich people in a global context. Now, middle class majorities in a global context is a good thing. Middle class people spend almost everything they make back into the economy, driving economic growth. Middle class people tend to be a huge stabilizing force in society. They demand good government. They're trying to get good learning and education, things that are good for everybody in the long haul. By 2030, it's estimated that the world will add another 1.7 billion middle-class people to their ranks. This, again, is global middle-class people to their ranks. We're going to have well over 5 billion people who are considered in the global middle class going forward beyond that point.